Is the screen visible, students? Screen is visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. In the last class, I was explaining about the two types of Cartesian coordinate systems or the subsystems. One was the right-handed system, and another one is the left-handed system. In the last class, we discussed what is right-handed system. So if there are three coordinates x, y, and z, there are three coordinates here. Right? This is x, this is y, and this is z, intersecting at the origin. Okay. Then if I am shifting this x towards the y, so this is considered as the upward movement of the screw. That is, here I'm shifting in the anti-clockwise direction. The screw is shifted in the or moved in the anti-clockwise direction. So when it is moved in the anti-clockwise direction, the screw is appearing as if it is moving in the upward direction. So such a system, we call it as a right-handed system. Then next, here we are studying the left-handed system. In the left-handed system, we are interchanging the x and y coordinates. In the previous figure, x was here and y was here. Is it not? But here we have interchanged x and y. X and y are interchanged. So after interchanging x and y, if I move x towards the y, if I move x towards the y, so it is as good as clockwise rotation of the screw. Clockwise rotation of the screw. So when I move the screw in the clockwise direction, what will happen? The screw will move in the upward direction or downward direction. The screw will move in the downward direction.
Upward.
Downward, yes, downward
Upward.
direction, correct. So the screw will move in the downward direction because when we moved it in the anti-clockwise direction, the screw will move in the, it is just as good as loosening the screw. So it will move in the upward direction. So when you move in the clockwise direction, it is as good as tightening the screw. It will move in the downward direction. Okay. So this is called as the left-handed system. Left-handed system. And the most preferred type of subsystem is the right-handed system. The right-handed system is commonly used as compared to that of the left-handed system. In the Cartesian coordinate system, x equal to 0 plane indicates two-dimensional YZ plane. In the Cartesian coordinate system, when we are considering the Cartesian coordinate system, what is meant by x equal to 0 plane? Okay. Now here we have x, this is a x, this is y, this is z. If I consider x as a 0, then what will remain? Only yz plane will remain. X is 0, it is at the origin, correct? So when x is at the origin, x is 0, only yz plane will remain. So we get only the yz plane. Similarly, when I make y 0, when I make this y 0, then only xz plane will remain. Are you following here? I am making this y 0. Y 0 means it is at the origin, but only x and z are there. I have not made x 0 or z 0. Only y I am making 0. So if I make y equal to 0, then xz plane will remain, or we will get the xz plane. Then similarly, if I make z is equal to 0, z is equal to 0, that is at the origin, right? Then we'll be getting the xy plane. So like this, by making x equal to 0, it indicates two-dimensional yz plane. We get only two-dimensional planes. Then y is equal to 0, that will form the xz plane, two-dimensional xz plane, and z is equal to 0 indicates two-dimensional xy plane. Okay. Now let us move on to a new topic, that is representing a point in rectangular coordinate system. If I want to represent a point in a rectangular coordinate system or the Cartesian coordinate system, then it is represented by its three coordinates, that is x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. If you want to represent any point on the Cartesian system or on the rectangular system, right? So that point has its own x-axis, its own y-axis coordinate, and its own z-axis coordinate. Is it not? So that is how we are representing a point in a rectangular coordinate system. So this point can be reached by moving from the origin. If I consider this figure here, so this is the origin. This is the origin. Now, if I want to move, right, I am moving in x1 direction. So this is x1. I am moving in x1 direction from 0 to x in the x path, x1 units in the x direction. Then I move parallel to y in the y1 units. So this is y direction, right? What you're seeing here is the y direction, correct? So I moved by x1 units in the x direction. Then I am moving by y1 units parallel to y in the y direction. Following here. So this is our origin 0 or the origin. So from this 0, I am moving by x1 units in the x direction, and then I move by y1 units in the y direction. Y1 units in the y direction, and then I move parallel to z. This is z axis. I move parallel to z by z1 units. By z1 units. So ultimately, where I will end up, or what is my destination point. So my destination point is here. So I'll reach here, or I have reached here. So this point is x1 comma y1 comma z1. Why it is x1 comma y1 comma z1? Because I have moved by x1 units on the x coordinate. Then parallel to y I have moved by y1 units, and parallel to z I have moved by z1 units. Okay, so here I am reaching a point that is x1 comma y1 comma z1. Okay, so this is how from the origin we have to trace the point x1, y1 and z1, and then we will get that particular point or the coordinate whichever we want to represent in the rectangular coordinate system or in the Cartesian coordinate system. Clear here? The point can be reached by moving from origin the distance x in x direction, then the distance y in y direction, and finally distance z in z direction. Consider a point P having the coordinates x1, y1 and z1. This is our coordinate, whatever we have reached. It is our point P, or the coordinates of this point P are x1, y1, z1. P of, I am writing it as P of x1, y1, z1. Consider a point P, and then it is represented as P of x1, y1, z1. This is shown in the figure here. Then coordinates x1, y1 and z1. Note that these coordinates, if I am moving in the positive x direction, then the magnitude of x will be
Excuse
positive.
me,
Yes, please, what happened?
sir. Sanya, you're not allowing her, sir.
No, she didn't appear. 1 minute, I will check. Now I'll allow her. She didn't appear that time. Okay, fine. Okay, so I think she is admitted. Sanya, you are here? Sanya? Okay. So we have reached the point P of x1, y1, z1. So x1, this x can be positive. So x1 can be positive if I am moving in the positive x direction. What is negative x direction? It is in the opposite to x. This is x. So if I move opposite to x, then I get minus x. And this is why if I move it in the opposite direction, here to the left of this origin, then I get minus y. This is positive z direction. If I move in the downward direction, then I get minus z. Okay, that means the magnitude of the coordinates can be positive or negative. The point G of 3 comma minus 1 comma 2 is shown in the figure here. So this is our point G or Q here, that is 3 comma minus 1 comma 2. So how I have reached to this point? Just try to visualize here, imagine here. See, now x is how much? X is 3 units, so move positive by 3 units. Then minus 1, minus 1, minus y. So the first coordinate is x, second is y, and third is z. So on the x-axis, I have moved by 3 units. I have moved by 3 units. Then minus 1 on y-axis. Y is minus y, it is minus 1. Then move from here by 2 units in the towards the positive z direction. Towards the positive z direction, move by 2 units. Okay, so if I move by 2 units, I will end up here. So this will give me the point Q or G of 3 comma minus 1 comma 2. How I got this point, students? So first move by 3 units. move by 3 units here, that is x, then minus 1, then 2 units towards the positive z direction. So 1, this is 1 unit, this is 2 unit. So I'll end up here. So this is 3 comma minus 1 comma 2. Fine. Are you following here, students? Are
Yes,
you
sir.
following here?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Any doubts here?
No, sir.
Okay. Another method to define a point is to consider the three surfaces. Here we are considering three
So,
surfaces. Yes, please.
so that you have moved to minus 2, no, so that should be moved to plus 2.
1 minute. I'll come to that figure. Okay. Tell me here. What is the doubt?
So that you have moved to minus 2 steps. So you should move
Yes.
to plus 2, no, sir.
See, this is 3. Okay. Then minus 1 is here. Minus 1.
Okay.
This is our minus 1. Okay. Then plus 2 on the z. I have to move. It should be continuous. We should not break the path.
Okay, sir.
Following here. We should
Yes.
not break the path. 3 units I have moved on x. Right. Then minus 1. Then 2. Plus 2. This is 1. Then this is 2. So it should be continuous. Continuous path. Got the point here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other doubts, students? Okay. So let us consider the these surfaces, namely x equal to constant surface, y equal to constant, and z equal to constant planes. Three planes which are having x constant, y constant, and z constant. So here it requires little bit of visualization. Look here, students. This is x equal to constant plane. Now, what is meant by x equal to constant plane? This is x, this is y, this is z, right? X equal to constant. Now it means I try to visualize here. So this is our x, this is our y, okay? This is our x, this is our y, and this is our z. This is our z, okay? Now x equal to constant, and you can take it in the form of a cardboard if you can visualize here. This is x, this is y, and this is perpendicular is z. Okay. Now x equal to constant plane means here, exactly at this position here. So if you consider here, or if you are sitting in a room, you can look into your walls of a room, corners of a room, x plane, right? X plane, then y plane and z plane. The corners of a room, one is the x, okay, x plane, then y plane and z plane, okay. Then, so we have x, try to visualize here, x plane, okay. X is, so this is our x, corners of a room, sides of a room, x, then we have y, okay, then we have z, the three sides of a corner of a room, okay. So accordingly we get one is x. So okay, so what is your x here, students? X is the other side. If it is a, you consider it as a closed room, all the four walls of your room are closed. So one wall will be your, left wall will be your x plane, okay. Then the bottom surface, right, right, the floor, that will be your y plane, and the front wall, that will be the z plane. Front wall, that will be your z plane, okay. Now x equal to, try to visualize here, x equal to constant, so x equal to constant is a plane which is parallel to yz plane. So floor we are having as the y plane, then the opposite wall or the front wall is our z plane, correct. Now if I am considering the side wall, that is our x plane, correct, x plane. So on the side wall, if I take the, some coordinate, some point, so that will be constant, whatever may be the point on that plane, that will be constant, okay. The side wall, whatever the plane you are taking, okay, on that, then that will be completely constant, because that is a single point. You can see here, I'll show here, So this is the coordinate of the x. This is the coordinate of the x. So say, let us say it is at, let us say, assume that it is 3 units. So entire plane has 3 units only. Entire plane has 3 units only. Entire plane has 3 units only. Okay. So like this, we will be getting x equal to constant plane, which is parallel to the YZ plane. It will come parallel to the YZ plane. When you are taking, you can see here, this is our x, what it is cutting the x-axis. Okay, is it not parallel to YZ plane? YZ is your opposite plane. Okay, so it is parallel to the YZ plane. X cutting x at some point, at some coordinate on the x-axis, which is constant throughout that. That is parallel to the YZ plane. Parallel to the YZ plane. Okay, so like this is x equal to constant plane, which is parallel to YZ. Similarly, now we can visualize one more representing a point that is on the y-axis. So it is y equal to constant. This is our y-axis here, y-axis. So if I am considering some point here, wherever this plane is cutting, y plane, y equal to constant plane. Let us say this y is say by say 5 units. Let us assume that it is 5 units, y, positive y. Then in the entire plane, it is 5 units only. It is constant. It is fixed here. Wherever you take here, it is 5 units only. Correct? So this is y equal to constant parallel to the xz plane. Parallel to the xz plane. Clear? So this is how we are representing y equal to constant parallel to xz plane. The next is similarly z equal to constant. Z equal to constant, that is on the z axis here. Take a point on the z axis, say by 7 units. 7 units. Okay. So at the 7 unit, draw a plane. Draw a plane. So that plane will come in parallel with the xy plane. This is our xy plane. So it comes parallel. Try to visualize here. It is, this is our z plane. Correct. This is our xy plane, that is ground floor, the floor. Okay, so z is, it is cutting on the z axis, that is on the front wall it is cutting, right? So that comes in parallel with the ground plane or the floor. Correct. So this is how we are getting z equal to constant parallel to the xy plane. This concept is clear here, students? Did you all try to visualize here? Was it understood how it is? X equal to constant, y equal to constant, z equal to constant. This concept is clear here?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Oh, fine. Right. Then, next, we are considering intersection of these. Yes, please. Any doubts? Somebody interrupted. Any doubts? Yes, please. Any doubts, students? Following, right?
So what is the advantage of taking each one constant, sir?
What is the advantage of?
So why we have to take x, y, and z constant?
X equal to, yes, I'll come to that. I'll come to that point. Here, we are considering the intersection of these three constant planes to define a coordinate or to find out the coordinate of the intersection of x equal to constant, y equal to constant, and z equal to constant. So these three planes, wherever they intersect, that is our coordinate. That is our coordinate. Suppose if you have taken x equal to 3 units, right? You have drawn the plane there. Then y equal to say 5 units, you have drawn the plane there. Z equal to say some 7 units, you have drawn the plane there. Wherever these three planes intersect at a common point, that gives the coordinate, our destination point, our final point where we want to arrive. Clear here? Got the point, friends? I'll come to that. I'll explain in this figure. Look here in this figure. So this is our x equal to 3 plane. I have taken x by 3 units. Okay, x equal to 3, x axis parallel to yz plane. Then y equal to -1, y equal to -1. -1, it is again parallel to xz plane. This is parallel to xz plane. Okay, y equal to -1. Then Once it is y equal to -1, this is the y equal to -1 on the negative y axis, y equal to -1, then z equal to 2. Z equal to 2. Here I have drawn, you can see this here, this one, top portion. Okay, this one. So this is z equal to 2. Now wherever this x equal to 3, right, then y equal to -1, y equal to, so x equal to 3 here, y equal to -1, then move z by 2 units. So it is intersecting at this point. So this is our coordinate q of 3, -1, 2. How we got this coordinate? That is intersection of these three planes. One is x equal to 3, constant plane, then y equal to -1, constant plane, and z equal to 2 plus 2, constant plane. Wherever these are intersecting to a common point, that common point is our coordinate. Got the point here, students? So this is x equal to 3, then move on the negative side by -1, then positive side towards z-axis plus z-axis by 2 units. That gives the intersection of these three planes. Now your point is clear here? Your question is clear? Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So constants indicate coordinates of that point. That's what it is. Point Q is the intersection of the three planes, x equal to 3 plane, y equal to -1 plane, and z equal to 2 plane. Various planes such as x equal to constant, y equal to constant, z equal to constant are shown here. And as I told, constants may be positive or negative. So this is all about the representing a point in rectangular coordinate system. Next, we will move on to what are called as base vectors or unit vectors. Base vector, the another name for unit vector is base vector. In the one of our previous classes, we have discussed about unit vectors, which give the directions of some other vectors. So these unit vectors, they are represented in the x direction, y direction, and z direction. X, y, and z. So if it is in the x direction, it gives the direction of the vector which is in the x direction. If it is in the y direction, it gives the direction of the vector which is in the y direction. And if it is in the z direction, it gives the direction of the vector which is in the z direction. Okay. So unit vectors are oriented along the directions of the coordinate axis of the given coordinate system that I have shown here in the figure. You can see here. So it is towards the x-axis, it is unit vector ax bar. Towards the y-axis, the unit vector is ay bar or the base vector ay bar. And towards the z-axis, the unit vector or the base vector is az bar. Now on this system, if I consider a point x1, 0, 0, where it will appear? x1, 0, 0, where it will appear? The coordinate x1, 0, 0. Can anybody tell me the answer?
On x-axis, sir.
On x-axis, very good. Because x only we have the x coordinate, y coordinate is 0, z coordinate is 0. Is it not? So it appears on the x-axis. Similarly, if we consider a point on the y-axis, we have 0, y, 0. That is x and z are 0, only y coordinate exists. If you consider a point on the z-axis, any point on the z-axis, anywhere on the z-axis, then its coordinate will be 0, 0, z. Z may be any value, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it may be. Right? So like this, we'll be getting the various coordinates, and this is how we are representing the base vectors or the unit vectors. Cartesian coordinate system, the three base vectors are the unit vectors, that is in the x-axis, y-axis, and the z-axis. So what are these unit vectors? Ax bar, ay bar, and az bar. Now I have shown the point x1, 0, 0, which is represented by a vector joining the origin to the point and denoted as x1, ax bar. It is nothing but the point from the origin towards the x-axis, or I have moved by x1 units on the x-axis from the origin. Base vectors are important in representing a vector in terms of its components. So base vectors are important to represent the or to give the directions of the vectors in the x direction towards the x coordinate axis, in the y direction towards the y coordinate axis, and in the z direction towards the z coordinate axis. Next, we will see position and distance vectors. Consider a point P of x1, y1, z1 in the Cartesian or rectangular coordinate system. You can see the point here, P of x1, y1, z1. Now, how to get this point? I have explained previously. Move by x1 unit, then parallel to y-axis, move by y1 unit, then parallel to z-axis, move by z1 units. Okay, so this is our point P of x1, y1, z1. This is from the origin. So this is nothing but the radius of the this surface. I mean this shape. Okay, this is the radius from the origin towards the point P, and hence this OP vector is also called as the radius vector. OP vector is also called as the radius vector. Position, this is the position for the ROP bar vector. That is the radius vector, ROP bar. So point P is represented by the distance of point P from the origin. This is also called radius vector, and it is shown in the figure below. Now, what are the three components of this position vector? What are the three components of this position vector ROP bar? It is x1, y1 and z1. x1, y1 and z1 are the vector components, or they are the components of the vector OP bar or ROP bar. Okay, x1, y1, z1. Fine. The position vector of point P is represented as, if you want to represent the position vector of point P, then how to represent that? So it is ROP bar is equal to, position vector is equal to x1 ax bar plus y1 ay bar plus z1 az bar. This is how we are representing the position of this vector ROP bar. Okay, the position of the point P in this system. So it is given by x1 ax bar plus y1 ay bar, that is in the x direction. Okay, y1 is in the y direction, that is ay bar, and z1 is in the z direction, that is az bar. Now we are knowing how to find the magnitude of the vector, right? If you want to find the magnitude of the vector, we have to take the absolute value, is it not? We have to take the absolute value. Magnitude of this vector in terms of three mutually perpendicular components is ROP bar is equal to square root of x1 square, that is its magnitude square, plus magnitude of the y component, that is y1 square, plus the magnitude of the z component, that is z1 square. Okay, so it is ROP bar is equal to square root of x1 square plus y1 square plus z1 square. If the point P has the coordinates 1, 2, 3, then what will be its position vector? Can anybody tell me? If point P has the coordinates 1, 2, 3, then what will be its position vector? Yes, please. Can see here. If the coordinates are 1, 2 and 3, x is 1, y is 2 and z is 3. X is 1, y is 2 and z is 3. Okay, so we are having ROP bar is equal to 1 ax bar plus 2 ay bar. Component of x is 1, x component is 1, so it is 1 ax bar, then component of y is 2 plus 2 ay bar, then component of y is z is 3, so it is plus 3 az bar. Then what is the magnitude, students? Magnitude is the absolute value, that is square root of 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square, that comes out to square root of 14, right? 1 square is 1 plus 4, it is 5, 5 plus 9 is 14, so square root of 14 is 3.7416. So like this we are finding the magnitude of the position vector. So once we found out the magnitude of the position vector, okay, then the position vector is P bar, that is Q, position vector of Q is Q bar. Okay, so the individual position vectors of the points are p1 p is equal to x1 ax bar plus y1 ay bar plus z1 az bar, and q bar is equal to x2 ax bar plus y2 ay bar plus z2 az bar. Here we are considering 2 points. Okay, one is p, which is having the coordinates x1 comma y1 comma z1. Another one is q, its coordinates are x2 comma y2 comma z2. Then here, if we are considering these 2 points, what is the distance from P to Q? That we are supposed to find out here. Now, by this time, we have understood what is a position vector, how to find the position vector, and what is its magnitude. We have understood that. Next, we have to understand what is the distance vector. If you are considering 2 points in the coordinate axis system, then how to find the distance between those 2 points? The distance or the distance vector is given by the difference between Q and P. Okay, that is, this is the origin, this is the starting point P, and this is the end point Q. So the difference between the end point and the starting point, that gives us the distance vector. So how to find out that, students? The distance or displacement from P to Q is represented by distance vector PQ, and it is given by PQ bar is equal to Q bar minus P bar. So it is PQ bar is equal to Q bar minus P bar. That is x2 minus x1. Coordinate of Q is x2 minus x1. We have to take the same corresponding coordinates. You cannot subtract x2 minus y1 or x2 minus z1. Here it is x coordinate is x2. Here x coordinate is x1. So you have to subtract the corresponding components. X2 minus x1 into ax bar plus y2 minus y1 into ay bar plus z2 minus z1 into az bar. PQ bar is Q bar minus P bar, that is end point minus starting point, which gives us x2 minus x1 into ax bar plus y2 minus y1 into ay bar plus z2 minus z1 into az bar. This vector, distance vector, is also called as separator vector. Now the magnitude of this, how will you find the magnitude of this? We got the vector. Now once we get the vector, it is very simple to find the magnitude, correct? So how to find the magnitude of this vector? It is absolute value PQ bar is equal to square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square plus z2 minus z1 the whole square. So this equation is called as distance formula, which gives the distance between 2 points. So this formula is for the calculation of the distance between the 2 points. Okay. Now we have found out the distance. If we want to find the unit vector along the direction PQ, we have already solved one example on unit vector, right? So in that example, we have understood that the unit vector is given by the vector divided by its magnitude. Am I right? Unit vector is given by the vector divided by its magnitude, right? So a PQ bar is, that is the unit vector along PQ, is equal to PQ bar divided by its absolute value or the magnitude. PQ bar is the vector divided by its magnitude, that gives the value of the unit vector along the direction of PQ bar. Okay. Now students, we have understood how to find the position vector and the distance vector. Now tell me, what is the procedure to obtain the distance vector and the unit vector? How do you find the distance vector? Yes. How do you find the distance vector, students? Suppose say 2 points are given, P and Q. P coordinates are x1, y1 and z1, and Q coordinates are x2, y2 and z2. So how you all are going to find out the distance between these 2 points? Distance vector?
Square root of x2 minus x1 square plus
Yes.
y2 minus y2 plus z2 minus z1 square.
Very good. Correct. You are right. So the distance vector is found out. First we are finding out the P vector. Then we are writing the Q vector. Then we are subtracting P vector from Q vector. That is Q minus P. That gives us x2 minus x1 into ax bar plus y2 minus y1 into ay bar plus z2 minus z1 into az bar. Once we found out the distance vector, if we want to find the magnitude of that, then we have to take the absolute value. So that will be, as you are told just now, it is x2 square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square plus z2 minus z1 the whole square. Then unit vector, if you want to find, that is given by the given vector divided by its magnitude.
Magnitude.
Yes. So this is the procedure to obtain the distance vector and the unit vector. Okay. So that's all for today's class, students. In the next class, I'll be solving one example on finding the distance vector and the unit vector. So that we will take up in the next class, and then we'll continue with the remaining topic in the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So in today's class, students, we discussed the topics starting from the left-handed system, then how to represent a point in rectangular coordinate system. So we took this shape and we analyzed that. Okay, how to find out the point. And later we also understood how to trace the point q of 3 comma minus 1 comma 2. We trace that point. Then different planes, x equal to constant plane, y equal to constant plane, and z equal to constant plane. Intersection of these three planes gives us the required coordinate. So in this particular example, we got the coordinate as q of 3 comma minus 1 comma 2. Then base vectors are also called as unit vectors. We already have studied, dealt with the unit vectors, right? And then these are the base vectors or the unit vectors along x as ax bar, y as ay bar, and along z as az bar. Then moving on to the position and distance vectors, we discussed what is a radius vector. So this OP bar, ROP bar vector is the radius vector. Okay. Then once we found out the radius vector, we found out its magnitude. We know how to find its magnitude. Then we also understood what is a distance vector between points P and Q, to find the distance vector and how to find its magnitude. And finally, about the unit vector. Okay. That's all for today's class, students. I hope you all have understood. Any questions here, students? Any questions?
No, sir.
Anything you want to discuss? If you are having any questions, you can ask. Lohit?
No,
Any
sir.
questions?
No, sir. No,
Concepts
sir.
are clear, today's class?
Yes, sir.
Any difficulty in understanding?
No, sir.
Okay,
Understanding, sir.
fine. Shraddha?
Yes, sir.
Understanding the today's concepts?
Yes, sir.
Understood? Okay. Any difficulty in understanding? Any problem in understanding?
No, sir. No problem.
Okay. Karthik? Prajwal? Any problem in understanding, Prajwal? Mali? Okay. Adarsh?
No problem, sir.
No problem. Good. Tejas?
Understood, sir.
Understanding? Fine. Sai Prakash?
Understanding.
Okay. Janvi? Understood, Janvi? Any questions, Janvi?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Deepa?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear, the today's concepts, Deepa?
Yes, sir. All will
Any
clear.
problem in understanding?
No, sir.
Clear with the concepts? Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. Any questions you can ask?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, students, then we'll continue in the next class. Right? Thank you.